you hustling for approval while starving your soul? You show up, you smile, you give, you grind. But deep down, are you betraying your own joy just to be seen as good? At what point do we stop performing and start living? Welcome to week 5 of Finding Your Soul's Voice. I am Laura Lalaki, singer and soul searcher. I am stepping into my life purpose and I am taking you along on this ride in the hopes that you will be doing the same in your life. Phew, babies, this week shook me in a way I didn't see coming. I thought I had a decent handle on what was keeping me stuck. Old wounds, fear, perfectionism. But this week, I had to face something quieter, sneakier. The limits that I pretend don't exist. I've always said that I am a dreamer, and I am. But what I've realized is that sometimes I dream in circles because it's safer than taking one clear, focused step forward. By saying yes to everything, it sounds brave until you realize you're actually drowning in half finished projects and invisible pressure. I can't tell you how many books, how many video series, how many classes, how many Etsy stores, how many t-shirt shops that I have not pulled the trigger on. So I've put this invisible pressure on me. So this week, I've had to look at where I've confused chaos for creativity and business for progress. What I came up with was pretty surprising. I've actually been avoiding boundaries because somewhere deep inside, I thought that that meant I was a failure. But they don't. Limits can be sacred. They protect our energy. They direct our flow. They're not prisons. They're actually riverbanks. I grew up on the Ohio River, so I like to see things as riverbanks. And when we honor our limits by not saying yes to everything that's not in our purpose, we actually unlock more creativity because we stop leaking our energy into 1,000 trillion infinity directions. So, a part of our journey is doing these morning papers. I've been doing these morning pages. I call them morning papers. If y'all know, I'm a Prince person. So Morning Papers is a song that he wrote. And for some reason, I just call them morning papers. But, we're following the guideline of The Artist Way by Julia Cameron. I am not associated with her in any way. This is just my journey into this. And I hope that you join me with it. I'm not being paid by her. I'm not getting anything from that. This is just my journey. But back to the morning pages. I've been doing my morning pages faithfully. Now, some days with conviction, some days it's just daggone scribbling to stay accountable. But even on the messiest mornings, they have shown me what I keep avoiding. I wrote the same sentence 3 days in a row this week. I need to stop doing so much for everyone else. That guilt kind of hit me hard. There's that little voice that says, but you're being selfish if you stop helping. And I found out that that is actually a trap. The virtue of being endlessly available, endlessly useful for other people is actually taking away from your purpose. And it's a lie. that actually kept me drained and resentful and not radiant and not doing what I was supposed to be doing in my life. Hmm. That hit hard because I noticed that there is a lot of times that I want to do for others, but then I don't get done what I need done in my life. I'm too tired at the end of the day. I have several podcasts, I have several shows, I have clients, I have this, I have that, and there's a time and place for each one of those. But at some point, you got to stop volunteering when things are not working to your good. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. So, in the book, The Artist's Way, it's called The Virtue Trap. And that hit me square in the chest. Doing good things at the expense of my soul isn't noble, it's self abandonment. So I had to come clean with myself this week. I've used overgiving as a way to hide from my purpose. Because if I'm always helping, then I don't have time to face my own dreams. So I had to ask, who am I performing for? Who am I trying to impress with this endless sacrifice of doing for others? Yes, there's a time and a place to be a good human and to put good things in the atmosphere of doing good things and helping humanity. But the very simple truth of this is my higher self isn't impressed by this burnout. She, inner Lala, is waiting for me to honor what I was sent here to do. So I practiced choosing joy over obligation this week. I actually stepped back from a day of doing broadcasting for a podcast. I've gone down from 4 days to 3 days. I let myself do that, even though I felt it might have been unproductive on the surface. But what that allowed me to do is I actually started dancing like no one was watching. No cameras, no TikTok, no intention to share it with anybody. Just me in my body, spinning and laughing and remembering how it feels to be alive, like I used to do when I was a little girl in my bedroom with the brush or a stick, pretending that it was my microphone and throwing on some music and pretending like I was that singer. I've also started blowing bubbles off of my patio. It makes me happy. And what I've noticed is it makes other people happy too. I mean, older people who walk by the patio and have bubbles all around them. I mean, the babies that are off to school, walking around seeing the bubbles. It gives them joy. But the time that I took back for me, not for the gram, not for the talk, not for even this group, not for that, is when I had the moment of lightness in my chest, the breathlessness from laughing out loud. I mean, literally, doing things that make you feel silly feels good, and laughter is good medicine. It was a full body laughter of yes. One of those forbidden joys I've been denying myself without even realizing it was just being and laughing at silly things and laughing in general. I am just too serious sometimes. It's actually wild how joy can feel scary when you've lived in an over-functioning mode for everybody else for so long. So that's when I started a new section in my journal. I have 2 journals. And I called it Forbidden Joys. And it's a place where I named and amplified the little things that make my spirit spark, like blowing bubbles, like dancing really silly, like singing silly songs. And I do mean silly songs. My dad used to love silly songs, and I started singing them. Just laughing at myself. Even when my knee hitched this week, I just laughed at myself and said, well, you ain't 20 no more, but you're still moving, girl. And just laughed. I took joy in a piece of fruit. I took joy in taking a nice walk that wasn't exercise. I took joy at someone's puppy that they were walking, and they allowed me to play with their puppy for a little while. So, those are the things that I wrote down in my journal, things like that, like forbidden joys. For whatever reason, I've put any kind of you can't do that and made it forbidden for myself or what other people call childish. They are your forbidden joys and they are no longer going to be forbidden. So I wrote them down with huge exclamation marks and I now honor them because I am teaching myself that pleasure is not a waste of time. It truly is divine fuel. A car needs gas. Your soul needs joy. I also wrote out a wish list this week, and I want you to do that too. No filtering. I just let myself ask for everything that I want. No shame, no logic, sing on a mountaintop. Actually, I want to sing by the ocean and busk. I've never done that. I've never been a busker. I've never gone out with just a microphone and some music and sang to the public. I've never done that. So that's on my wish list, and I'm going to make it happen. And I'm going to pick 5 songs, and I'm going to do that. I also put on there writing songs because that's not my strong point. I'm a vocalist. You give me a piece and I'll put my emotion in it. But I'm not really a songwriter. But I want to tap into that because the more that I tap into that, the better I become at it. And next thing you know, I'm not singing other people's words, I'm singing mine. Right? Here's a risque one. Make love under the stars. Oh, I'm going to have to pull my husband in on that one. What I did actually is I let the desires of my heart come without any editing or any guilt or any shame. Then I chose one of those and I took a really tiny step toward it. I picked 5 songs that I want to sing when I go out and busk. And now I have put that into the universe. And when you are telling the universe what you want, you're telling your creator that you're stepping into the gifts and the powers that they've given you, then they're going to meet you halfway. Whether you're a believer or not, or you believe in manifestation, listen, I'm not here to judge whatever your religion is. Me, I'm a believer. So I know that my creator is going to meet me halfway. He's just been waiting for me to get on the right track. And here's the beauty. When I did that, I actually tapped into a river of things that I had actually forgotten about. And that creative flow is something that we all crave. It was a little hard for me to get started because I felt guilty. Then I said, nobody's reading this. You just write down how silly things are. Listen, I have a guitar. I'm not really good at that guitar, but I'm working on it. I pick it up, I put it down. I pick it up, I put it down. Okay. But there's also another guitar that I've been wanting for a long time. And even though I have one that I'm not good at, I want this one. I want an Acoustasonic that has the American flag on it. When they first created Acoustasonic, they had one that had an American flag on it. It was a limited edition. At that time, I wasn't interested in playing, but I loved that guitar and I want it. So I'm going to call that to me. I don't know when it's going to come. I don't know how it's going to come. I just know that it's going to come. And it's not going to come with me forcing or overthinking it. I'm just going to go about my day. I'm going to put it out there and let it be. Right? When we tap into our creative force, you could be washing dishes. You could open a window. You could be cleaning your bathroom and all of a sudden, boom, what you asked for comes to you. Like the lyrics. I started with lyrics. A melody just dropped in my mind like a whisper from God. I've stopped trying to push myself into genius and just started listening instead. The current of your river is already flowing. You just have to learn to float with it. Now, this journey is definitely continuing. And I am reminding myself and you that you are a co-creator with something bigger than you. Your creativity is sacred. Your desires are divine. Your joy is your prayer in motion. If you are walking with this journey with me, I want to invite you to lean in to this week's lessons. And part of that is writing affirmations. Now, you can write whatever affirmations that you want. I'm going to give you 3 that you can use. You can twist. You can look them up. Maybe you have anything different. I'm just giving them to you so that you can have something to tap into. Number 1, I honor my creative boundaries as sacred containers for divine flow. You know, like those Egyptian sacred containers, you know, the Egyptians used to put these sacred containers. That's what this is. 2, joy is my birthright, and I welcome it as fuel for my purpose. 3, my dreams are the language my higher self speaks through, so I listen. So those are 3 that you can tap into. You can write whatever you want. But you also have a couple of other things that I want you to do this week. First, write a forbidden joy list of 10 little things that secretly delight you. Then do one of them this week, guilt-free, with your full presence. 2, make a wish list with no filters. Write 25 things you deeply want, big or small, silly or goofy. Then take one tiny step toward one of them and tell the universe, I'm ready. 3, name one area where you felt over-obligated or drained. And then ask yourself, am I in a virtual trap here? If yes, set one clear, loving boundary and give that energy back to your creative self. This week cracked me open. It reminded me that boundaries are not punishment, that desire is not selfish, and that flow doesn't come from force, it comes from trust. We don't have to earn our dreams. We just have to stop running from them. So let's keep swimming in this river together. Now, here's a few reminders to keep you on this journey. First, I want you to write in your morning papers every morning, 3 pages, raw, unfiltered, unconscious flow. If you don't have anything to say, just write blah, 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 do a little doodle, whatever you need to do to get your 3 pages filled. Now, do not reread them. We're not there yet. We're not rereading anything in our morning pages. For me, morning papers. Do not reread them. Write them and close the book. Later on, we're going to revisit them, but for now, we're going to leave it be for this whole 12-week, 13-week series. Okay? And mind you, I put bonuses in here too, right? Then I want you to take at least 15 minutes each day to yourself. Go for a walk. Shut your door and get away from the computer. Put your phone down, put it away, turn it off. Do something that gives you joy. For me, I blow bubbles off my balcony. It gives me joy. So, listen, I want to encourage you to take your time with these exercises. This is not a race. Many of you have reached out and you said, I'm behind. No, you're not. You're right on time. These videos are here for you. when you're ready. Each workbook is ready when you're ready. No rush. This is not a race. This is soul work. And sometimes it's not on a times table. It's important that you take the time to do the work each week. And sometimes that doesn't fit into a 7-day period box. If you need to work on things a little longer, it's okay. In fact, it's really great because it means you're digging deep and you're doing the work. So keep working. The rewards will be beautiful. Now, make sure you are in our Facebook group. The link is in the description. And the new workbook for this week is also in the description. And if you don't have the book is linked in this description. But I'm so proud that you're here with me. You know, I'm going to leave this series up. I don't have very many people taking this journey with me right now. But it's out here for everyone to find it when it's ready. They always say the teacher presents themselves when the student is ready. So I want to put this in the world so that people can dance and live their life purpose. I want to thank you for joining me this week. I am Laura Lala Key, vocalist and soul searcher. And I wish you nothing but love, light, and so many blessings that you can't hold them all. Until next week, sugar.